Hi, Kim.
Hey Cheri, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fabulous. Another rainy day here in the desert, though, but
That doesn't even seem like a possibility. But it's another dry day here in the swamp. So there we are.
here we are. Yeah, I had to send pictures out to everybody on Facebook because it looked like we had snow up in Scottsdale a little bit. It wasn't snow; it was a bunch of hail. But a lot of people are giving me grief for having snow down here in the desert. It's like, yeah,
Well,
contrary to popular belief, it does snow here in the desert every now and
every now and then, and you can
then.
keep it. Every now and then it
Yeah,
does snow down here in the swamp, and I don't want it. So,
yeah. As long as it melts and goes away and nobody's like sliding all over the roads and our
right,
haboobs are bad enough. We don't need blizzards too.
right. No, exactly. So are you ready for Thanksgiving?
I am ready. Plans just changed a little bit, so, as they do, right, at this time of year. So I
Always.
was planning kind of a quiet, not that I don't love this, but all of a sudden some plans fell through for other people. And so now I'm hosting about twice as many people, which is fine because I guess that's my love language. I love having people over. I feel bad that
Entertaining.
they have to eat my cooking, but
Entertaining, the newest love language. I love it.
yeah, I mean, it's like
Um,
I like doing things for people and like cooking for them and providing for them. That's my thing.
I think that's awesome. And what a wonderful expression of love. I think we actually could call that like acts of service. So,
Oh, well, yeah, being a teacher, huh? That
yeah.
makes sense. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Well, our plans also changed significantly. We were going to be hosting a whole lot of people and everything fell through. And so now we're going to be like maybe getting
They're
that.
really
So,
coming to my house.
we're right. I said, get out of here. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So before we get started, I'm going to pop up our QR code real quick if I can figure this out. So hang on.
Again, we are Generation X, Gen
So
X.
we
We
can
don't
break
know how to
everything.
technology and we've ruined the world. So just bear with us. We're
There we
trying to get
go.
there.
All right. So did it pop up for
I'm
you?
seeing it.
Okay.
I'm seeing it. So hopefully,
Okay. So anybody who's watching, this is our QR code. Kim and I are working on some research to kind of examine anxiety and parenting and what's working and what's not working. So
and
we'd
how we
love
can
it.
help.
Right, exactly. If you again, it's going to say, oh, this is like 45 minutes. Negative. We test drove it and it was 10 minutes tops. So please, we would love to hear and get some more information. I'm going to go ahead and stop that now.
Yeah, and when you look at that survey, you're going to see like a list of questions. I think there's like 70 questions on there, but don't freak out with that. Don't look at that and go, no way I'm doing this. It does not take very long. It's basically, you don't even have to think about it. It's just honesty is the best way to get through this survey and just plink, plunk, plunk your answers. Whatever comes to your heart first, that's your answer that you want to go with. Don't
Right.
overthink it.
Don't overthink it. And like there's no algebra involved in this. You're not going to have to conjugate any verbs. It's not that hard. Um,
I did not create this test, so you're good.
Me either. Um, okay, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about holidays and getting through the holidays with multi-generation and how to
Mhm.
cope with little kids and bad behaviors in the holidays. And we're about to kick off the holidays with Thanksgiving. And so Kim, I'm just gonna, ask you, like, what kind of holidays do you brace for them or do you embrace them?
Well, I love them. I can't wait for them. I like I said earlier, I love having a bunch of people over at my house. And that I think that comes from growing up with the whole Duncan clan. I think there were 8 siblings in my dad's family, and then each of them had eight kids apiece, except we only had 3, but we were the anomaly. And so it was just a house full of people in a tiny
Right?
2-bedroom house, by the way, in
Right?
Denver. And just so many people and probably 50 cousins, all from like barely walking to 17, 20, some of them.
Okay.
And yeah, just a house full. And we all played, had a great time, never remember any of this drama that people always talk about. Like I'm always amazed by all these people who are talking about how stressful the holidays are and they can't stand being with their family. It's like, are you kidding me? We had every shade of the, don't want to say rainbow, but like every walk of life and every age and um, every religion. And and we just had a great time and enjoyed each other's company.
I love that. That is a wonderful story. I'm so like, I wish more people had that experience. Think
Yeah,
about
even to today, we have, I mean, it's not as big a group anymore because we've all splintered, which is sad. I mean, just because, life takes us around different parts of the world.
sure,
Most of my family's in the military, won't even be home anyway. But, even if just my kids and their families coming, um, still, and most of my kids' friends actually will come. We used to
nice.
joke that my house is like the little UN. Um,
That's awesome.
everybody was coming here.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so just loved being around each other.
Right. Okay. Well, unfortunately, this is not like it's not common anymore, and
That's sad. That's
we
really
have
sad.
we have all kinds of uh, we have all kinds of behaviors that we never had before.
True, yeah.
Okay, so here are some examples of some of the things that I'm seeing, and I want to just kind of like I'll throw them out there, and we can talk about what's working, what's not, and other coping skills.
Hmm.
Okay, so here, this is something that I've worked with. Um, the greetings,
Oh,
okay? Like,
right.
hello, goodbye, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, kind of. Um, okay, so you've got a little kid, you've got people coming from all over that maybe they're not familiar with. So
Hmm.
I can get where that would be a little bit overwhelming. It's probably overwhelming on both sides,
I think
right?
I see where you're going here.
And
We preach stranger danger, and then now we're
exactly.
forcing them to hug a stranger.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
And like that's not okay on either side. If I don't know, like as an adult, like
Hmm.
when cousins and nephews and like people have babies and they're like, "Oh, come see the baby." I'm like, "I'm happy to. Absolutely. I want to come see the baby." I haven't seen the family though for, like sometimes months at a time.
Hmm.
There's no way that baby knows me.
Right.
And I
Right.
wouldn't go to the grocery store and randomly pick up a stranger's baby. Why would I pick up a strange baby?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So the idea, like, I think it needs to be more than just, okay, it's not on all on the kid to be like, oh, I don't want to hug you. You might be my
Hmm.
grandpa, but I only see you like twice a year. I don't know you.
Hmm. Right.
And I may FaceTime you. I may, send you. That's not the same thing as in person. And when you are a face on a screen, you're little bitty. You're just like this,
Yeah.
oh, look, it's right. And in
Hmm.
person, okay, you went from this little bitty face to this 6 foot tall thing, and I don't want to hug you.
And you smell different now.
You smell exactly. And there's like, okay, so I get that. But what I'm seeing instead of, like a polite way to would be, say, hello, welcome to Thanksgiving, or, hello, like, no, 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 no. Now we're giving kids choices again. You can hug, you can fist bump, you can, okay, at 3, again, 3 and up, pretty much they've decided we can add our own options, and those include yelling and screaming, saying no, throwing a fit.
Hmm.
Okay. So it kind of goes back to what we've talked about before. Like, why so many choices? Why not? Okay, people are going to come, and when they come, we just say hello.
Yeah, because at what point do you like introduce where like
The
this is
word
gonna
you're
sound
looking
harsh.
for is manners.
Okay, thank you. At what point do you start telling them, okay, it's good manners to get up, cross, at least look them in the eye and shake their hand, which is
The
weird for family, but is
okay,
that acceptable?
the why not? Like if we're introducing ourselves to strangers and we encourage kids to shake their hands because it's that's
Mm-hmm.
considered polite society, then
Right.
why would it not? Exactly. And then when they feel more comfortable, you can ask, hey, can I have a hug?
Mhm.
That puts the, like, but not this long list, a laundry list of like, okay, you can hug or you can fist bump or you can high five or you can this or you can that.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's not really, that shouldn't be a choice. It's like you do have to be polite.
You have
You
to be
do
polite.
have to get up and like come across the room and say hello or good morning or
Exactly.
shake their
So,
hand.
to your
But
question, we should start teaching our children manners the moment they enter the world.
mm,
Like, okay, that's like, what a weird thing to say. I'm not
but
like,
we do. Like
what
when we
we,
have the baby, we say, hi, baby, meet grandma.
exactly. We are modeling behaviors,
Hmm.
modeling the manners, modeling the things that we want our kids to learn as soon as we get our kids. So we
Hmm.
need to be paying
Hmm.
attention to what we're doing.
Right.
But also then as soon as the kids start to walk and talk, we are also, then we start, okay, you know, think about this. Some of the first things that we start working on when babies are like getting through that babble stage and actually pronouncing words is we're like,
Hmm.
say bye bye,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So
Right.
if we're doing that with a baby, then why are we not doing that? Like once they hit toddler, it's not okay for them to just like completely forget and we let them be feral.
Yes.
And
Especially when they have that stinking screen in front of them.
oh yes, we're not gonna
You cannot
that
ignore somebody who comes into your home by looking at that screen.
right.
It just
Well,
irritates me.
I am there with you, and I don't care. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Um, I don't care what stage of life you are. The specialist that deals with you, from pediatrician up to geriatrics, all recommends if you're not using it for work or school, 2 hours of screen time a day. And don't let
Hmm.
children get a hold of screens until they're 12 or older. Now,
Oh, yeah, I love that.
plenty of pediatricians will be like, "Oh, well, whatever. We don't have any." No, 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 no.
What do you mean you beat?
We have empirical data. We have all kinds of things about like what screen time does for adolescents and increasing anxiety and depression. We have all
Yep.
of that information.
Hmm.
But you're exactly right. The thing that I'm noticing is that parents have a different standard of behavior and manners in their own homes than they do in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting kids that are like even people I'm working with are like super rude to me because they're in their home. And when I talk to them in a different location, they're not. And I don't mean adults, I mean kids.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the same kid that has perfect manners in school, that gets like the gold student award for
Hmm.
courteous behavior and all of that. That same individual comes home and has no manners at all at home because they're not expected or enforced.
And yep, and there it is, the expectation. Yeah. Oh, I couldn't tell you how many times I heard that. It's like, no, your son is a great kid here at school. It's like, really, he's a hellion at home. Like,
Oh,
that's on mom.
that's on
Me.
mom. Yeah.
That's on me
No,
because that was my kid too. He was great. Everybody loved him. Never, well, still do. Like, never met a stranger. My son never met a stranger.
right.
Loves everybody. I'm like, really? Same guy?
Well, and we do, obviously, we have all kinds of different responsibilities as parents than we do in other aspects, but it kind of goes back to the expectations, and expectations in classrooms are posted. Expectations,
Mhm.
like you can't walk into a grocery store that doesn't say no shirt, no shoes, no service, no
Mhm.
firearms, no foul language. Like I was at the doctor's office the other day, and there's actually a long list of like behaviors that they're no longer going to tolerate. And I'm like, okay, since when? Why would I even think of that violence in the doctor's office would be acceptable? But it's listed. Okay, so and
Yeah, I always think about what happened
what
to cause
happened that
that
we
to be a
had to,
rule.
right? What happened here?
Yeah.
But what I can tell you what's happening, again, there were no posted expectations. kids would go to the doctor's office.
Do people really think it's okay to act like hooligans when they're in a professional setting? I mean,
When they don't have that coping skill,
common
kids
sense.
kids will melt down without those guidelines, without without knowing what is expected to them of them. It's way too overwhelming. There are way too many options. And if you already gotten all of these options and you've learned that having a meltdown will get you what you want, then if I kick and scream and yell and bite the doctor, I'm not going to have to get the shot.
Yeah, oof. Yeah.
Okay. So, but that back to the holidays, it's the same
Mhm.
principle. And
Right, yeah. It's in your
we
home, yeah.
we don't have, and this is like again like rolling into other things like communication between parents, communication between families. Like, what are your expectations? What is important to you in this holiday? What is important, how do we want our kids to act? How do we want, like,
Mhm.
what are you willing to enforce? How are we going to get there?
Yeah.
And without those conversations, then everybody goes to these events with their own little expectations that do not meet.
Right. So, should I write a list of expectations for Thanksgiving when people come to my house?
Um, Sometimes
I'm kind of being facetious, but kind of not.
kind of not. Okay, so what we did is like we would always, and this year included, like it fell apart, but not, it didn't fell apart like, oh, conflict. We had a couple of serious injury accidents. No,
Ooh.
nobody can come eat anything until that heals. So we just postponed ours. But what we
Uh,
do is we write a list of, okay, this is what our tentative menu is. Does anybody have something on here that they absolutely won't eat, or something that they really want to eat that's not on here? Because
mhm.
you start with those basic expectations. What do you want? How can I meet that?
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of do that, I guess. I send out the list. Here's what I'm planning. Here's what I am doing.
Right.
If there's anything else on there, you are welcome to bring it if I missed it.
Right. Or
So,
let's have that communication about it.
yes.
That in a nutshell, that's a lot of, these are my expectations, what are yours?
Mhm.
Behavior with kids is a lot different. Like, the people that are coming over are not strangers to your home. So
True. True.
you don't have to have that, okay? But
Yeah, people pretty much already know what they're getting with me. So,
yeah, because they know you. These are your
mhm.
kids and your grandkids, so they already know those expectations. You've
True.
communicated
Yeah.
them to them. Okay? Now,
Yes.
we were going to have people over that had never been to our house before and have very small children. And I was
Mhm.
going to be very clear about, like, hey mom, let's sit down because I want to know, like, child proofing, little toys, swimming
Mhm.
pools,
Mhm.
all of the
Mhm.
things, dogs, gates,
Dogs.
fences, all of the things. So mom and I were going to have this conversation before they came so that I could be on the
Mhm.
same page with her as far as, like, what she wanted safety wise in my home.
Okay. So, little light bulb just went off. So that's kind of an automatic at my house because those are the things that I already like. I've already baby proofed my house because I know I'm going to have littles. I've already designated where the dogs are going to be because
Right.
I don't know who likes dogs, who doesn't. I'm not going to have that drama. So I take out as much as I can to make other people comfortable. And then I mean, but I think that's just an automatic because I think about the other person. So I wonder, is some of that because some people don't put themselves or they're so entitled that they think everybody should
I
accommodate them?
I think it's easy to get into the whole idea that, um, again, the whole idea of a lot of these parenting trends is that the entire world revolves around this baby, this toddler,
Mm,
this whatever.
got
And
it. Yeah.
so, they don't even think about, like, oh well, of course it's perfectly reasonable that the kids are just gonna, like, sulk in the other room because we're not gonna drag them in and possibly give them the discomfort of saying hello to people they don't know. And if you think about it though,
It
like,
really
that's
is that
not
simple.
it, yeah, that's not the way life works. And so they're they're like chopping it in half and like, okay, in school and in the store you behave this way, and at home then you get to behave this way. So you have like a professional face where you can use manners, you know the guidelines, and then in other settings it's okay to be like the feral cat and just be like, "Ah, I want whatever I want."
Yeah,
So
if that's what you as a parent are willing to deal with, then yeah, I mean it is different to be professional setting, home setting. I mean, I don't dress at home the way
right.
I do at school. I don't and I don't use the language at home that I use at school. I don't drink a glass of wine at school either. So there are those two different settings, but I'm still civil to the other people in my home.
Exactly, exactly. And that's like kind of where it falls apart because we're creating environments where it's okay to not be civil to other people around us. And I've heard this
Hmm.
excuse a lot, okay? Well, my kid has, like maybe ADHD or a touch of autism or something like that. And so they're working so hard being, on at school all day that they come home and fall apart. Okay, well, they come home and fall apart because they know they can, but
Mhm.
so I'm always like, anything that we've got going on is not an excuse for bad behavior. It's a reason to work harder. So
Mhm.
in those situations, we need to help our kids understand if you need a moment to compose yourself, like we all do. We have that
Mhm.
that when you get home from work, when you get home from where you decompress, right?
Right.
If
Mhm.
we need it, they need it.
Right.
They don't need to be laying there kicking and screaming and biting me while they're doing it. That's not how to do it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
here's the unfortunate thing. If they're doing it at 3 and they don't get that behavior corrected, they will be doing it at 6 and 8 and 10 and 12. And then you've got a sullen teenager that you
And
can't.
16.
Exactly. Exactly. And it boils down to manners and expectations.
Yeah, I think so many times people expect, oh, they'll just grow out of it. They'll grow out of it. It's like,
No,
no, no, no,
no,
no. You have to coach that out of them.
right. They have
It
to.
doesn't just happen.
Right. They have to learn that behavior.
Mhm.
They have to learn. Okay, so real quick, because I don't want to like, okay, these are the reasons that we got there. Now we're coming up on crunch time, and maybe you've got a problem. How do you get out of it? Okay, so for a 3-year-old, like the toddler's preschool age, that's a little bit easier because like it's not an ingrained habit at this point. You
Mhm.
just make a few modifications in how you set the whole thing up. You also make sure that you have a diaper bag. Even if there's not diapers in it, it's filled with snacks and crafts and activities
Mhm.
and things to
Yeah.
distract them. And
Yeah, things that make them comfortable when they're at home, transfer that so that comfort level comes with them. Yeah.
exactly. So now let's say you've got older kids and you haven't been doing any of these manner enforcing and you haven't like and you've got somebody who is a little bit a little bit less than charming at family gatherings. One of the
You
things
mean they fart in front of everybody?
I don't even mean that. I'm talking more
I know.
about, throwing the mashed potatoes type, you know. Okay, we have this
That might
interesting,
be fun.
given the right circumstances.
Right, 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 right.
Okay, you're gonna love this. Remember how we were saying how this generation renames everything?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw something out there, and I want you to tell me what it sounds like to you. Okay? Okay, it's called behavior replacement therapy. This is legit. Okay, behavior replacement therapy. So you've got a kid who's doing a behavior you don't want them to do.
Hmm.
Like let's say um, throwing mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. Bad behavior.
okay. So it goes like this.
Unless grandma initiates.
Right. That's not bad behavior on the kid's part. Then we'll talk about grandma. Okay. So you want okay, you tell the kid, if you stop that right now, I'll give you candy. What
Oh,
is
that's
that?
bribery. That's
Thank you.
bribery.
Thank you. Not that it doesn't work, but now it's called behavior replacement therapy.
So now the kid's going to act up and get a candy bar every time they act up. So now they become a
Well,
500-pound
again, like
turd.
the idea is that you're breaking the immediate behavior. Um, so I guess that would be one way to get through.
No,
I
I see. I am not okay with one. I couldn't keep enough candy bars.
well, it doesn't have to be candy bars. The
No,
idea
I know,
is
but
that,
I mean, I
but
couldn't.
the idea
But
is that
food.
it
Mm.
doesn't, and again, it doesn't have to be food. It can be like you'll get a gold sticker. You stop doing that, and I give you
Yeah.
something positive. And I had the conversation with somebody. It was like, well, okay, what happens then if we say you stop this right now, or you lose this privilege for the rest of the day? And they were like, oh, well, that might damage them. I was like, blink, blink, blink. So there are, like, again, there are people who believe
I know.
behavior
I sound
replacement
like this is
therapy.
news to me, but no, I've seen it. And that's why I have had to deal with teenagers who act the same way,
Right,
and parents indulge that. And so that behavior
right.
never changes. The kid gets yanked out of my classroom because, heaven forbid, I have standards and expectations for people to follow, but that's a whole nother story.
Well,
But you keep enforcing the negative, and that's why, well, that's why they're
it,
so entitled.
exactly. And the whole idea that behavior replacement therapy, also known as bribery, is an effective tool is that, I mean, like it is 100% you are reinforcing the negative behavior. You are
Yeah.
teaching them that if you do this, you're going to get what you want. It is the
We put
same
a
thing.
pretty little name on something that is negative, and we're going to call it something else. Well, yeah,
And
it's just,
I always tell when I'm working with kiddos who are like like in school and like know the school rules and know how to behave in school, and I say, what happens if you do that in school? Oh, well, I get in trouble. Like, okay, what does trouble look like in school? Oh, well, I sometimes I can't go to recess. Sometimes I have to go to the principal's office. Sometimes I have there are actual
you can't
consequences.
go to the specials. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
the idea of like again, communicate with your 6-year old. Okay, we're going to grandma's house. You can't run or yell in grandma's house. Okay? But I can't at home. I don't care. These are the rules at grandma's house.
Mhm.
So if you are like, print them out. Have grandma post them up. It's okay to do that because we want the kid to understand this is your expectation of this
Mhm.
situation. We're only
Mhm.
going to be here for this many hours, and if you get bored, then you come and say, "Hey, mom, I need something to do." You don't need to say, "I'm bored," and we'll get a craft out.
Yeah.
We'll get just a healthy distraction. We'll start a game. We'll in
Mhm.
like and I had an interesting conversation with my husband this morning about holidays and like what did he do to engage his kids and keep
Mhm.
everything smooth. And he said, honestly, I didn't do anything. I found that the more I was present, the less I had to do. And I said, present, like, were you playing with them? And he said, no, we were just in the same room.
Mhm.
And
Well, because it meant something. They respected their dad, or they knew his boundaries enough to know you ain't gonna do that.
well,
But
also,
some parents can be, on that flip side, there can be some parents sitting right there in the room and the kid is acting up because,
well, again, as a parent, you are not a playmate.
right?
Your job is not to play with your children. Your job is to teach your children how to play.
Mhm.
That means that from time to time you do have to play with your children, but that is not your job. You are not
Mhm.
their toy. You are not their plaything. You are not their playmate. You are not
Right,
their equal.
right. But I'm saying kids will act up, like Dean's parents or kids wouldn't act up because he was in the room. Just being there was
Right,
enough. But
right.
there are parents who their being there does nothing to their kids' behavior. That behavior it spirals and it gets bad, and the parent still is doing nothing.
Exactly. And the doing nothing is where we get into trouble. Okay?
Hmm.
If the kid would get into trouble in another setting, school,
Hmm.
grocery store, playground, anywhere else, there are consequences. There needs to be that consistency of consequences in the home. And that is
Hmm.
where we get it. And there
Hmm.
needs to be the consequences in grandma's home. There
Yeah.
needs to be, and they're like, and now I'm getting also a lot of like, well, how dare you? how dare you try and, teach my children? How dare you try and discipline my kid? Okay, well, in school, if they're
Well,
if they're not gonna, and I'm sure you're like,
I
okay,
have a dangerous slippery slope for that one. How dare you teach my children? How dare you? How dare you? And now look at what's happening. The state, and I mean the state, not in, they're
right,
starting to take over the parental roles from parents.
right,
And so, uh, you know, you better parent because by God, somebody's going to.
right,
And
exactly.
if you don't want somebody else instilling those values, you need to be doing it yourself.
Exactly. You need to be instilling your own values.
Oof, I got on my little soapbox there.
I liked it. It was a good soapbox. And we're going to need to, let's kind of, I want to throw up our QR code. While I'm trying to figure out that technology, Kim, you want to touch base a little bit on what we're going to be talking about next?
We're going to talk about boundaries a little bit more next week. Because I do kind of throw in some fun here for you Gen X grandparents out there. It's okay if you're the ones instigating the rough housing and the throwing of the potatoes. I'm just saying.
I love that. Okay, again, here's our
So
QR code.
boundaries. I will
Um,
probably be throwing potato. Now you gave me an idea. I'm throwing potatoes.
okay, I can just to be perfectly fair here, I am the grandparent that buys finger paints.
Oh, I knew that about you. I mean, I just assumed that about you. I guess I didn't know that, but some people don't know that Cheri and I have known each other for a lot of years.
A
We can
long
say
time.
decades. We can
We
say
can. We
decades
can say
now,
decades.
multiple decades.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why we
And
know.
on that happy note, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. Everyone stay safe. Talk about expectations. Talk
Mhm.
about boundaries, as
We'll
in
talk
like
about boundaries next time.
next
Yep,
time.
a little bit more. And
And
just parent.
just parent. Parenting is not a trend. It's not a trend.
You are the best parent your kids can have. So
Exactly.
just be
Trust
you.
yourself.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Good. Okay. Bye all.
Bye. And then, oops, captions.
I'm gonna have to bloopers.
Yes.